Well, who runs this country? You've got a Conservative government with a big majority trying to put forward this plan to deal with illegal migration and this deal with Rwanda. We know the policy has big public support, and yet we have this situation where repeated legal challenges now being described as a Rwanda flight farce. Indeed, despite over 10,000 people already having come across from France on small boats this year already. At time of recording, only 11 people now on the Home Office first plan removal flight to Rwanda tomorrow following the legal challenges, and who knows if anyone will indeed be on that flight. Just to give you an idea of what's going on here, a source quoted by the Mail is saying we are getting claims from every single one. In many cases, they are making multiple claims under various bits of the Human Rights Act and modern slavery legislation, saying over the weekend there have been new claims every hour and we expect more right up until when the flight goes, saying we will operate the flight even if there's just one person on it, but there is a real prospect that even that might not be possible. Now, responding to this situation is Sir John Hayes, Conservative MP, saying, "I am sick to death of deranged do-gooders and fat cat lawyers frustrating government policy and the interests of the nation," saying if we end up in a farcical situation where no one is allowed to get on a flight declared lawful by the courts because of spurious human rights challenges, then we'll have to repeal the Human Rights Act, saying we are already committed to reforming it and we may need to go further. Every major policy this government tries to pursue is getting caught up by the long tail of Blairism through legislation like the Human Rights Act. Now, a really interesting piece on the Human Rights Act that Lord Frost highlighted by Richard Eakins, Head of Policy Exchange Judicial Power Project, Professor of Law and Constitutional Government at the University of Oxford, and writing specifically on this again for the Mail, he talked about endless bids to halt Rwanda deportations being yet more proof that the Human Rights Act undermines democracy. He says the Human Rights Act has been part of our law for more than 2 decades, but I'm sorry to say it is a blot on our democracy and Parliament should repeal it now, or at least amend it sharply, pointing out that the 1998 Human Rights Act is what gives the ECHR effect in UK law, saying sometimes the role of the British judge under the Act is simply to figure out what the Strasbourg court has decided and to give effect to this, saying repealing the Human Rights Act would prevent those who are defeated in the political process from continuing their political campaigns in the UK courts, saying it is my view that the Human Rights Act wrongly privileges the moral view of judges. It promises the rule of courts rather than the rule of law. Look, this really cannot be allowed to continue, can it? By a Conservative government with a majority effectively not being able to implement a policy that they have put forward. When it comes to the Human Rights Act, when it comes to the ECHR, it's clear Priti Patel and Boris Johnson have a lot of work to do if they are to stop the illegal migration crisis across from France and win back the support of Conservatives, of Brexiteers, of those of you who watch my channel. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree that the Human Rights Act should be repealed? Do you think it's time to leave the ECHR, as even Theresa May, of course, when she was Home Secretary, said that we should do? As ever, I will keep bringing you all the very latest on this, guys, so please do whack this video a quick thumbs up, and of course, as ever, cheers for watching.